EPA employees are told that the money will be used after the second coming of Jesus Christ or during Armageddon right before he would come again. The IRS would not view these as legitimate tax-exempt purposes.
This is not the church of Joseph Smith. This is the Church of Jesus Christ. A major victory for Satan. And a major city yet to be determined in Russia. A major victory for Satan.
Travis Wingedzel. So, 60 minutes. We're doing a whole day of segments for you. And they will have different information. So don't think that I'm just repeating the same video over and over again, though that would be awesome too. And get more viewers that way. But, because YouTube wants to silence my voice. In 60 minutes on Mother's Day Eve, just shattered all Mormons' faith. All Mormons are now going through a faith crisis. They should be. I'm trying to save you guys. You don't like it that I present the church as evil. You don't like it that I present that the church is criminal. You don't like it that I present the church as lying to all of us. That this is not Joseph's church. This is not his religion. This is not his scriptural interpretation. This is not his Christ. We've been conned. And so the 60 Minutes interview got the church to come out with a statement, and again, just like the whistleblower got the church to give a statement, the church has again confessed to all of this that I just listed for you. They obviously don't say what I just told you, but that is what it means. When you don't say something in response, that's a tell. When you do say something in response, that's a tell. And so when the presiding bishop in the interview is asked a question and he hesitates to give an answer, you can see that his eyes are rolling to create an answer. He's lying to cover up the church. And she caught him, and they made sure to catch it on video. It was awesome. And so, what is it that the church is trying to keep hidden from everyone? Is it the total wealth of the church? No. It's what they spend that wealth on. And it has to do with the latter days, Armageddon, the millennial Zion. This is the plot that they have been plotting for 200 years when Brigham and Heber chose to join the church for the sole purpose of overthrowing it. They were going to use it as the front for preparation for the overthrow of the government, the overthrow of Christianity. Had a Christian comment just a little while ago as I finished the upload and was checking around, in which he completely trashes my presentation of another video unrelated to 60 Minutes. It was about the I can't remember which one it was, unimportant, but it had nothing to do with 60 Minutes. And then after trashing me and my presentation lack, he then ended with, good message, just the presentation sucked. And sorry, but the message goes with the presentation. I'm not going to spend days trying to figure out how to present this in a more entertaining way for you. I don't have that time. And so if you're trying to dismiss my message, which in this case he wasn't, but, that was abuse. And as a Christian, shame on you. You know about the beam and the mote. I just did that video, and that could have been, well, I don't think it was the video response that he made, but regardless. Another person, though, I had replied to a comment that he made yesterday, and then I saw he replied again, and he made this statement, Lucifer must be so proud of the church. And so I linked him to a video about the name with the clip of when you remove the name of Christ from the name of his church, Lucifer. Lucifer rejoices, or something like that. And so I linked him to that so that he could understand, yeah, Lucifer's very happy with the church. You have no idea how happy he is. Because this is Lucifer's church. Literally. Not just figuratively. Literally. What do you think the symbol of Lucifer is doing on the keystone of the doors of the Salt Lake Temple, the headquarters? Yeah, Holland was first taken to the hospital because of me, because of that court filing. We got a couple of videos where I get to discuss my court filing. This is one of them. And so the statement of the church to 60 Minutes was that the church moves forward consistent with the gospel of Jesus Christ. No, it's their interpretation of the gospel of Jesus Christ. And what they're referring to is the first comment to the whistleblower, their response there, in which they say that they're following the parable of the talents. What is the parable of the talents? We need to go over that, I guess. Alright, Kings, Chronicles. Matthew. 10,000 talents. Unto one he gave 5. Yep, there it is. Matthew 25. So, yes, in the context of the latter days. Matthew 24, prophecies of the latter days, which is actually, I've gone over this with you. The whole gospel is the latter days. It's learning of the Jews. It's not Christian. Christians didn't write it. They culturally appropriated it and changed everything into Christian interpretation. Made Jesus a literal history character of the Roman period time. This is all prophecy of the latter days. It should be called the Revelation of Matthew. And so, yeah, there's a very awesome structural design of the whole book, because it starts off the beginning of the latter days and ends with the end of the latter days and the start of the millennium. And so the Matthew 24 is a condensed synopsis discussing the prophecies for the latter days, of which he's already gone over and will continue with the finishing of the book. Brilliant structural design. But what thank they, the Jews, for the Bible that he gave to Christians? That's in the Book of Mormon, by the way. And so, for the kingdom of heaven, thus the millennial kingdom on earth, Zion. And so, this is what the latter days is all supposed to be about. It is not to be taken literally, as the church did. Is as a man traveling into a far country, who called his own servants, and delivered unto them his goods. And unto one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1. To every man according to his several ability, and straightway took his journey. So he's got to come back a second time, doesn't he? Then he that had received the 5 talents went and traded with the same, and made them other 5 talents. That's what the church is literally doing. And they literally say this, that they're literally taking the interpretation of this scripture. But it's for the context of the latter days. That they're literally interpreting this for the latter days. Okay? And so likewise, he that received 2, he also gained other 2. But he that received 1 went and digged in the earth and hid his Lord's money. So the church doesn't want to hide their money. They're investing it, committing SEC crimes, insurance fraud, tax evasion. And so he that hath 5 talents came and brought other 5 talents, saying, Lord, he comes back to reckon with them. Verse 19. Thou deliverest unto me 5 talents, behold, I have gained beside them 5 talents more. Pay attention. His Lord said unto him, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. Okay? Same thing with the second, the 2-talent one. And so then the 1-talent one makes excuses. He was afraid. He was a snowflake and didn't bother to work. He was a lazy bum. And so the Lord then says this, take therefore the talent from him, and give it unto him which hath 10 talents. Not the one that hath 8, or 4, yeah. He gives it to the one who had the most. Okay? So, which one are you? Yeah, all of us are the ones who hit it because we're slaves. We have no money to invest. So guess what's going to happen to us at the day of reckoning if the church wins and gets their millennial Zion here in Salt Lake City, Utah? Yeah, they'll take from us and give it to the church. Because the church is the one that made 10. And then actually the church's total wealth is far greater than 10 talents with the conversion. Far greater. This isn't even the percentage that the tax guy on that episode was interviewed and asked. He said that the religion, according to the particular filing that they made, is expected to do 2 to 5% charity. That's very little. The IRS is very generous to churches, apparently. Even though the government keeps passing the buck to churches to take care of the poor and the needy. Because they don't want to use taxpayer dollars for it. They'd rather use taxpayer dollars for the military budget. That's another story. And so, yeah, the church, they don't even do the 2, as was exposed. It's 0.0000% that they give in charity. No matter how much you think millions and even billions is a lot of money, that's how filthy rich the church is with their total asset value. Because all this is just talk about what we know from the whistleblower of Ensign Peak Advisors. That's it. We don't know anything more. And the bishop got caught on that question. That was the tell. And so she then tried to lower it down to, well, what about Ensign Peak Advisors? How much do they have now? 150 billion? He still wouldn't come out and confess. Because the church had to reveal it in 2019. And now they've gone back to hiding the secret again. They don't want anybody to know. And it's a distraction from the plot that they're using the money for. And that's this parable right here, taking it literally. They're saving the money to give it to Jesus for the millennial kingdom. And so, Monsieur Travis when the good said, people, when I don't put the references and the information, people don't believe and they deny and they call me out on it. Because I didn't put all the information in the one video. Told you I can't do that. People should know and understand this. And so I just dismissed them as frauds. And so, yeah, the one Christian who was listening to a video where I say that I'm known worldwide for Paleo-Hebrew decipherment. I didn't put in the worldwide recognition. But, one, Amazon, yeah, they're all over the world. I sell to all over the world. I get royalties. And the major seller is Paleo-Hebrew. So yes, I'm known worldwide. 2, academia.edu. You can't know I'm known worldwide because you don't have access to my finances. You don't have access to my followers on academia. I get the emails. So-and-so from Pakistan read your book, is following you. Iran, India, UK, Philippines. I'm known worldwide. And so for him to put in there, you're not known worldwide. Dear God, get the hell out of here. And so likewise, I've had to deal with this with people when I say that I've sued the church. I'm the one responsible for seditious conspiracy that is going through and is locking up all of the January 6th conspirators. The Proud Boys. Me, guys. Me. And the case number that you refuse to just simply Google search, because it's right there at the beginning. I Google searched it for you to put it in this video. And then you click on one of the links, and it'll take you to one of them, and they'll only show you Judge Campbell's decision. They're not going to show you all of the filings that I did. And the one filing in the first lawsuit against the church, which put Holland in the hospital, revealing the inverted pentagram as physical evidence carved in stone. That sent him to the hospital, and the church was so humiliated that they didn't even cover it in the church news until 2 weeks later. Oh, and by the way, Holland is now out of the hospital. When did he go in? Yeah, I had to do some calculation and point out the calendar to realize, right after his interview with the rabbi, he would have been counseled by counsel as to my latest filing. And so the case number for seditious conspiracy, the plot to destroy America, and the church owning the government here in Utah. Case number 220 CV 633, and then Tina Campbell for TC. 3 Mormon federal judges recused themselves on this case. She refused to respond and even post my filing to recuse her, because it was clear that she was not following proper process to shut me down. And so I was immediately filing new filings to try to counter it, and she's the judge. She prevailed. And so after that aftermath, YouTube had silenced my voice before conference in October, and I was on probation for months. And yeah, it was a ridiculous thing. They're purposely ordered by the church to attack me on YouTube. They will not leave me alone. And I then came across a breaking news story about a little black book of the secret combination in America that is purposely trying to destroy the government, putting certain judges and political leaders in positions of authority. And it had the Cambridge Analytica guy who sabotaged our 2016 election and then got the information from Facebook, sold into Russia, who then bought advertising on Facebook to help rig the election. And then Steve Bannon, he's in that black book. And so you can see the kind of damage this secret organization is involved with. And so, yes, with the guys who are involved with buying Supreme Court justices and buying congresspersons to make sure they vote a certain way on certain things. Yeah, this is the dark side of government. And this black book was a secret combination of people involved in this who were making the plot to fix things in America, to destroy it. You had evangelical Christians, you had medical doctors, psychologists, and big business persons. And like I said, Steve Bannon was also among this. And then you had the Skousen family. Cleon Skousen was an original member and was given honorary recognition in the Black Book. And so one of his sons was his replacement in this secret combination group. So if you saw one of Daniel Craig's movies, not his last one, but the one where he infiltrates the secret Spectre meeting, yeah, that's the kind of evil that these people are. And there you have a Mormon representative. There were others in that little black book of whom I was able to tie to President Dallin H. Oaks, who has a friendship connection tied to them. And so, yes, Dallin H. Oaks, and thus the church, is tied to this secret combination. And so, because of the importance of this information, I put myself at risk to get myself banned for an even longer period of time and thus miss conference by posting a video before the probation was over. Because the way YouTube has it is if they punish you, you can't post for a certain period of time, and then you're on probation for so many months thereafter. And so I was allowed to post videos, but there was the risk that by posting videos during my probationary period that this was the trap they were setting for me to silence me for conference. They didn't, and I was able to post for conference that year. And so I was able to get lots of views, not as much as I did for April 1, which was the second most viewing that I've had since 2017. And so, yeah, the pre-videos of the name succeeded, and I was worried because this could have been our last conference, because this is the final year of the latter days, as I've been warning you. This is what they are plotting for this year. This is when it all hits the fan, and we are witnessing that. And so, yes, I was completely stressed as I'm now flatlining on views, and I'm not able to get subscribers to watch my videos anymore, and nobody's taking me seriously. Nobody believes me. And so it's up to 60 Minutes and others of reputation to step up and do it. And they won't listen to me. They have to figure it out on their own. So, good job. Because I'm just the distraction for the church. They think that I'm the bigger threat, and then along comes 60 Minutes and slams them. This is the mercy game that we played as kids, and I am the master of it. Because I learned that the right hand typically is the stronger hand. And so I learned to flex my left hand so that they would think that they're crushing me. And when they're focused on crushing me, that's when I sneak attack and crush them. And the pain for them, for not having practiced, causes them to instantly say mercy, and I win. And so, yes, this is me in my videos on YouTube. I can crush them with my left hand, I found. I was that strong as a kid. But I let them think that they were going to win, and then crush them with my right hand. And so the right hand is 60 Minutes, Washington Post, New York Times, lawsuits like Kay Birmingham, James Huntsman, and the whistleblower. So it's not me. I have no control over them. So the analogy doesn't really quite work, but you get the idea. And so the church is trying to have me assassinated, trying to silence me, trying to erase me from history. And so far they've failed because of the lawsuits that I did, which I had to do because they were trying to assassinate me. Because of what I started posting in 2017 about the latter days. They were concerned, as I now know in retrospect, that I was leading Mormons to understand that because it's the latter days, that certain things are going to happen, and the church doesn't want Mormons to know this. But after that conference, after exposing the little black book, I then had found out about Adam-on-Diamond. And I had found a quote online from this book. And so, yes, I needed to get this book to get the primary source to make sure that the quote online was accurate. And the church, in response to my posting of that video, sent me the death threat. And people were saying, "Oh, no, Travis, you're wrong. That's not a death threat. No, that's just missionary." No. I went every week to pick up my check. And the church knew. Metro Security was hired by the church to spy on me. And the missionaries use bikes. They don't use the buses. I saw them on multiple occasions. And so, having to do with Adam-on-Diamond, this is the latter days in Mormon theology. We all grow up knowing about the meeting in Adam-on-Diamond. Multiple Mormons do videos on YouTube talking about the Adam-on-Diamond meeting. None of them covered this. It's all faith promoting for them. And so pay attention, because obviously none of this is real. This is encoded plot of the seditious conspiracy. See if you can catch it, because it's in a parable form. So don't take it literally as Mormons do. This council in the Valley of Adam-on-Diamond is to be of the greatest importance to this world. At that time, there will be a transfer of authority from the usurper and impostor Lucifer to the rightful King, Jesus Christ. Lucifer's going to be there? By exposing the church's plot to overthrow the government. The church again tried to assassinate me. And my landlord succeeded in evicting me. And got me sent to the shelter because they failed to murder me. And so the shelter was ordered to murder me, to torture me, to hold me hostage, to human traffic me. And as you can see, I got out again, because the church has done this to me before. The first lawsuit was I found the receipt that the church had paid for my first 6-year incarceration. All because I followed the First Amendment and filed a petition with for a redress of grievances in the state of Utah. And the church ordered the government to have me disappeared and erased from history. And I miraculously got freed. And so, that's the whole plot. That's what David is telling us, though he doesn't understand it. He just knows, he was told, we're saving the money for use in Armageddon and the millennium. And so what has the church been using it for? I've been covering the videos all this time. When Nelson got up at his solemn assembly conference and said, a major city yet to be determined in Russia. He just confessed to working with the Russians and having given them money for the prospect of a temple, for him to come up and announce it. If they hadn't made an arrangement, there would be no announcement. Only for those temples that are started with a business agreement. And so if you don't understand how Russia operates, they, in order to have a business arrangement, make sure you commit a crime so that you're compromised, so that they own you, so that they can call in a favor and have you be their puppet. However, the church is not Putin's puppet. But Putin did give $32 billion that we know of, because Fox 13 News Utah's Max Roth exposed it, through multiple LLC corporations that then laundered the money into the stock market. Which, yes, the SEC needs to check on that too. But the whistleblower didn't notify the SEC about that. Because he doesn't work for those LLC companies. This is how the church operates, so that no one person can know the whole information unless he is in the top circle. Only the prophets know. And I guess the presiding bishop is privy to this information since he's involved in finances. So those are the top guys who know the total asset value of the church. And they even have a separate committee board concerning the church's finances. And so that's what they've been doing. So Putin received money. So what did he spend it on? Well, America was hacked. Cyber terrorism. America's elections have been rigged. And, oh yeah, that war in Ukraine with tithing money. All of this is with tithing money when it deals with temples. That's the cover story, is buying up land, but there's a business transaction that's involved. There are criminal activities involved, because tithing is a protection racket. They're laundering money. They're committing insurance fraud, tax evasion, SEC crimes, etc. Offshore bank accounts. And so, yes, this is all for Armageddon, to destroy America. And so when the church put in their exemption clause, and the Congress and the president signed into law the Respect for Marriage Act, people got fooled. What? The church respects gay marriage now. Oh, okay. All right. I guess I gotta be nice and not be mean. Because the church now respects gay marriage? No. Did you actually read the amendment that they put in that got the GOP senators to approve it? It's an exemption clause so that the church doesn't have to respect marriage. People missed it. And they praised the church when you shouldn't be praising the church because it's a trap. Just like Nelson pulled with the temple changes. Women thought, yay, the church is changing. We're changing the church to be better towards women. No, it was a trap because you didn't pay attention to the law of chastity change. You are now ordered to be divorced from your husband so that he can marry other women in preparation for the millennium. You'll go back to him in the millennium, but you need to sacrifice your marriage now in preparation for then. And you'll be rewarded, assuming you survive, because this is the bicentennial year of the day that shall burn as an oven. And all the wicked and the proud and Travis shall burn as stubble. And Joseph Smith added, they that come shall burn them. And so it's not going to be climate change burning that we're going to have this summer again. Because all the flooding from all of the excess snow, because the church donated water, they stole the water to cause the drought, to cause the Armageddon prophecies. Everything that we are struggling with comes from the church. The housing crisis here in Utah? The church. The homeless problem in Utah? Operation Rio Grande? The church. Medical marijuana? The church. The church is behind everything here in Utah. And the federal government has been notified, and they won't do anything. They're protecting the church. And this is it. This is what they're building to. This is what they've been doing all this time. When Nelson took away home teaching, when Nelson took an hour of church, when he released the handbook, when they bailed on the Boy Scouts. Everything has been for the millennium. And they've told you, but I guess you weren't listening. And so, yeah, as much as you think, oh, cool, I'm going to have multiple wives. Are you being obedient now? Sorry. You've hid your talent in the ground. If you happen to have a wife, she'll be given to one of the prophets, assuming she's... All women are beautiful, but other men don't agree with me. So, there you have it. This is what 60 Minutes exposed, again, because of the whistleblower. And I am able to put the pieces of the puzzle together for you, and you're not listening.